Okay, this is talking about my interaction number one. So, about 2 weeks ago, I ended up interviewing Ivan, who is a person that I decided to interview. And we're going to talk about the similarities of culture and geography. But he talked about in El Salvador how, the geography of the mountains and the volcanoes and also uh, of the coastal areas uh, affects the culture of the country and how that pretty much has a determined factor of how people live in that general area. And he also talked about his typical day here at Ozarks. His typical day, he gets out of bed pretty early. He gets up about 6. Excuse me. Uh, and so he goes and works out and he hangs out with friends. And he's been doing a video blog for about 4 years. So he's involved in that quite a bit. I've actually seen some of these videos, which they're pretty funny. Uh, if I could actually understand Spanish fluently, they probably would make more sense, but I can't. He also talked about like the typical things within his country. He mentioned the pupusas, which I've never had one. So he talked about, excuse me again. He talked about that quite a bit. He talked about the folk dances, and he especially talked about coffee, about how that's really important, and his culture. And he also talked about like the holidays celebrations and about Holy Week, Christmas, like in August they have Children's Day, and then like September 15th is like their Independence Day. So he said those were all like really major celebrations within his culture. He also talked about that general roles were similar to what they are in the United States, and his family makeup, for instance, he comes from a really close family. So I think he said in the South, there were some similarities because he seemed like the larger family unit in like Arkansas and in the surrounding area. He said was similar to what it was in El Salvador. And let's see what else. Oh, and the three things that he pretty much was concerned about when he was in high school. He was concerned with, apparently, he's not very good at history, so he said he was kind of concerned with that, not being able to fit in high school and, spending time like in church. Me, for instance, I actually went to a private school until I was like in junior high. And so when I actually went to high school, I didn't know very many people. And that was probably the major concern, not knowing anyone and being able to fit in. And of course, uh, not being from that general area where we moved was something that, was pretty much a concern. And like, excuse me, sinuses. Uh, One of the things, my reaction when I was doing this was, he's really a very vocal person. He likes to talk a lot. And he really laughs like all the time, which is really neat because you don't really meet very many people like that anymore for some reason. And one thing that emerged when I was doing this interview is, we've been here the exact same time, and like this was the first time I really had any type of interaction with him, and which I'm kind of glad that I've actually done this assignment to see it because I've got to know him a little bit better, and that's one thing I actually liked about this assignment, which at first I really didn't. So that's about it.